what were the challenges that you faced? Because तुम्हारे को वो ये तो करना.
I think the biggest challenge was not to get a call from the 1-2 people that the role was inspired by. For sure. I don't know. I just always gravitated towards being in the creative field from a young age. Yeah.
Okay.
You know.
And sports? Did you ever want to take it up professionally?
No, I was a very fat, roly-poly kid.
There was some sort of family opposition for your getting into the sport, and she actually locked herself in a bedroom so that she could take a year's break from her studies to train. Is that correct?
That's what the acting.
See, now this I didn't know.
One year, my dad, he sat me down, proper Indian father-daughter conversation. He said, "What are you going to do in this year?" I play badminton. And play badminton. I'm like, there's no and to
You must
it.
have been shocked.
That's it. And simple answer, no. And he gets up and he leaves. I lock myself for 4 days, crying.
4 days?
4 days straight.
My God.
After 4 days, mom's like, you know what? It's just a year. Do whatever you have to. But at the end of it, just get us a degree.
What class were you in on that?
After 12.
After 12.
Yeah.
Oh, so you finished your 12th?
I did.
So you had your DDLJ
Yes,
move, na?
exactly. Gino,
I was doing a film with John Abraham called Mumbai Saga.
Man.
And as we all know, I mean, he's there. So, and every frame in the film, it was me and him.
Yeah.
Side by side.
Yeah.
Now, if I'm standing side by side with a John and I want
You
to
got
be
to really
noticed,
like
I
up
have
your
to be
game.
there.
Yeah.
So I tried that for about 8 months, and then I think I killed everybody in my house because of my irritation.
Very recently, I was playing, I think, the second last round of qualification at a tournament, and I got the attack at 11 in the night.
While playing? Oh,
While
the night
playing,
before.
While playing
While
in
playing?
the match, and I'm on third set, and it's a do or die for me. Ironically, the light went in the stadium. God was with me
I
that
have
day.
to say your journey is
I
extremely cinematic. Light भी चली गई है.
Right, chali gayi, and the referee goes like, your match is tomorrow.
For the last, say, October 2023, I made a decision which has held me in good stead. I stopped drinking in Bombay.
Oh, really?
I was clapping that you stopped drinking.
I auditioned before I went to the States, and then I came back and it's time to shoot, and my director and showrunner Karan Anshuman was like, "What the hell happened to you?" But it's like
I can imagine.
you become superstar.
Shock.
मेरे इतने सारे दोस्त हैं, सुबह जिन, रात को जिन. I'm like, मतलब नहीं है ना. I'm like, भाई, okay, ठीक है. We all like to have.
ये नहीं करना चाहिए. Welcome to yet another episode of Unstoppable with Rohit Roy, powered by Ritebite Max Protein, where we engage in some inspiring conversations about health, fitness, and of course, nutrition. Today, we have two amazing guests who bring unique perspectives from the worlds of sports and entertainment. One I haven't met at all, and one is like my younger brother. My first guest on the podcast tonight is Saumya Goyal, an international badminton player whose journey from childhood passion to professional excellence is a testament to unwavering dedication and, of course, resilience. Despite facing numerous challenges, Saumya's relentless pursuit of her dreams serves or should serve as an inspiration to athletes worldwide. And alongside her, mera bhai, Tanuj Virwani, an actor known for his outstanding turn as the very intense Vayu Raghavan in the popular sports series Inside Edge. Tanuj is also a cricket fan himself, and so no wonder he's portrayed a sportsperson on screen with such great finesse. So without further ado, let's welcome Saumya and Tanuj. Welcome to the show.
Thank
so
you
happy
so
you're
much.
here. मेरे भाई,
कैसे हो यार?
तुम बताओ कैसे हो यार?
यार मैं तो बहुत खुश हूँ. I'm so happy to be here. You know.
So, you know, it's amazing that today we have one actor who's portrayed a sports person on screen
Yes.
very well, and we have an actual international badminton champion. बहुत बात बोला तालियां सौम्या के लिए.
Too much credit, guys.
So we'll start with you, bro. So
Yes,
how do you see this, your intersection of acting and sports? Because I know that you're very involved. You're a very sports person.
I am. I think it's a perfect marriage, to be honest, right? Because
मैं बचपन से क्रिकेट खेलता रहा.
in fact, before our interview started, I was having a chat with your little brother who's also into cricket.
Oh, that's your brother?
Yeah. And we were talking.
You know how he said hi to me?
हाँ.
Hi.
अच्छा.
I said, wow.
आजकल के बच्चे क्या बोलूँ यार?
So yeah, so that's how my journey started, and I mean, like it. As I said, it's a perfect marriage that
I got the opportunity to do the two things that I love doing the
love
most in this
doing that,
world,
yeah.
which is cricket and acting, and that's how Inside Edge happened.
Most of the time on your sets, you're playing cricket. I see.
या फ्री का कुर्सी वो मिल जाए तो हम लोग स्टार्ट करते हैं यार. कभी-कभी बैट नहीं है तो हाथ से भी खेल
हाथ
लेते
में भी
हैं. हाँ
खेल
यार,
लेते हैं.
yeah.
Saumya, before I ask you a question about fitness, about your badminton, have you ever thought of being an actor, honestly?
To be very honest, I wanted to be an actor.
knew it.
I started my journey. I was attracted to fame.
Right.
Like I want people running after me, picture lo mere saath and all of that. And then, but that phased out. But fame remained. I need fame. And then dheere se badminton came into the being, and now I'm getting that fame through the game.
It's so refreshing to hear someone actually own it and be like, because I'm not doing it for the fame, I don't like
No,
all
this is so good.
It's so nice.
Yeah.
I don't know why I thought I wanted to ask you this question that you want to be an actor. I just felt you have the actor vibe.
Oh,
Yeah,
really?
yeah, you got the vibe.
You
yeah.
got the
Thank
vibe.
you.
Yeah, I got the vibe. See, both of
I
them.
got the sense of timing, you got the vibe. Yeah. That's why Tane idhar aayenge. Yeah.
So we have an actor whose work I'm sure you've seen, and one of the most prominent actors now, the young actors who's intense as hell.
Relatively young.
Mother is the legendary Rati Agnihotri.
Yeah.
So let's go back. We've never spoken about this.
Yes.
Did your mom or the family atmosphere ever influence your wanting to be an actor, or did it happen later?
It's weird, but no, because the thing is because mere saath kya hua that like when my parents got married, my mom took a really long sabbatical from the industry, right? And she started acting again only when I was about 16 years old.
Right.
So I was at an impressionable age, but they consciously kept me away from the industry because they just figured that was not the right space for me to be in, like it's once you're fully formed as an adult, then you can make your own decisions. So I never really saw my mom at the peak of her stardom. Of course, like when we would travel, you'd obviously like, people would recognize and all, but I didn't really get
So
the
none
chance.
of your father and your mother
No,
never
and my dad's a
kind of-
businessman. My dad's into
Exactly.
real estate and construction. So like there's no, I don't know. I just always gravitated towards being in the creative field from a young age. Yeah.
Okay.
And
sports, did you ever want to take it up professionally?
no, I was a very fat roly-poly kid. So I don't think they really kind of pushed me towards sports. जो भी हम लोग cricket
तो
खेलते
फिर
थे,
acting कैसे हुई शुरू?
I just figured that I needed an outlet for my creativity, and because I was Golu Polu and I had bad skin and I had a stammering problem and all those like
can't imagine
all the things that you don't want to see in an actor, right? Confidence issues and all.
Yeah.
And I'm like, मैं writer बनूंगा या तो मैं director बनूंगा तो मैं camera के पीछे रहूंगा. So I became an assistant director, and then धीरे-धीरे I think when I was on set, I'm like, yeah, I think it's more fun on the other side, yeah. Yeah.
ये जो कर रहा है ना,
Yeah,
वो
yeah.
करना
And I also wanted the fame and the attention and
How sweet, both of you, seriously. I
We're
never
owning
wanted
it.
the
So high five for that.
Yeah, damn good. So I don't know much about your background. I only know that you're a champion. And so like his early days could have been affected by his mother's stardom.
Yeah.
How did you get into badminton? How did you think of taking up the sport? I've heard an interesting story about your grandmother. Is there a story?
Yeah. So my
Who was in the
grandmom-
women's cricket team.
Exactly.
How do I know this?
Please
Oh, really?
answer
How do
it,
you
don't
know
be
that?
And she comes
angry.
from a business family actually. How do I know so much about it?
Yeah.
One sec, you just spoke to him before the
I
show.
didn't actually. He's been talking to my family, and I was sitting there doing all the tests.
Oh.
She has a lovely family in the
Do you
green
know
room
that I'll
and-
have to record all this, na? So now act surprised. Oh, really?
Really? Oh my God, this is such a shock. Yeah.
Tell
Yeah.
me. Let's take you
So,
back into your childhood and your impressionable age time. How did you get into badminton?
So I'm from Delhi. Mom's married into Delhi, and Nani and all are from Bombay. So summers used to be in Bombay. Every year, 4 months, we're in Bombay. And every morning, 6 o'clock, by default, we used to go to CCI.
Okay.
And as a 2-3-year-old kid, Nani, as he said, was a first woman in the Indian cricket team. And
really?
yeah,
What's her
yeah,
name
yeah.
again?
Rashmi Arya.
Okay.
Yeah, so she was always like very into sports. When the other women were cooking in the house, she used to be out with the bat
So
ball.
she played with the Indian cricket team, the national team?
Yes,
Oh,
but I
wow.
don't think she could pursue it further because in those times the parents were like get married and all of that. But any which ways went to the club, and she told me that as a 2-3-year-old kid, I used to sit there and I was just crying. Like, I want to get on court. Why are you playing? Let me get onto court. And she's like, Mera 12,000 ka racket, mera juta, this kid is going to break everything. But one day they're like, okay, fine. You know what? Deepika's father, actually, Deepikapadukone's father, Prakash sir, was there. And he's like, come on court. I got into court and they're like, she's a natural. Every stroke I was hitting, like it's in the genes. It skipped a generation. My mom never played anything. It directly came on to us. And then,
My mom's watching, okay, behind the camera. She's right here.
I mean, we just praised me for honesty, right? So I got to be honest.
Fair. Yeah, kudos to that. Yeah.
This podcast is designed around being as honest and open as you can because that's the only way we can influence the younger ones who are watching. There's so many myths around everything now.
Absolutely,
Yeah, sorry.
Exactly. So yeah.
So your grandmother kind of...
gave it to me, and
Okay.
I
Khilne
never
khel.
left it.
That's a fascinating story.
Yeah.
And you were how old then?
I think it was 2 or 3.
That's it?
Yeah. And you know, other kids
So
were
you've been
given
on court
like
from 2 or
15, 16 years now.
My gosh, that's cool. And also I heard, before I come to you, I
Yeah.
heard that there was some sort of family opposition for your getting into the sport, and she actually locked herself in a bedroom so that she could take a year's break from her studies to train. Is that correct?
That's what the acting.
See, now this I didn't know.
Yeah. Something you didn't know.
Yeah. I know that.
Say, what
so
happened?
this is where the acting comes into play. My family is a business family, and to turn badminton into a professional career, like sports as an actual career, is something very unheard of for my family. For them, jab tak padhai and sports are hand in hand, well
Then
and
it's
good.
okay.
Yeah.
Like
No,
most Indian families. still now.
Exactly.
Other than cricket.
Yeah.
If you want to be a cricketer, then yeah.
No, you know, actually in badminton also, every player who plays doesn't complete the education. They're always training 12 hours a day. And
12
I don't,
hours a day,
12 hours a day. And my parents were like including your gym and your 2-3
Yeah, but
sessions,
that-
everything.
but
Like your
that's-
entire day
that's
goes
what-
to, that's what I mean,
yeah.
yeah. And I don't know if it's a God gift or it's a boon, what is it? But for me, I was always very good in studies also. So my parents are like, why do you want to leave such a good educational thing and just get into sports? And I was like, dude, I need 1 year. I want to play. And he's like, what are you going to do in this 1 year? My dad, he sat me down, proper Indian father-daughter conversation. He's like, what are you going to do in this year? I play badminton. And play badminton. I'm like, there's no and
He
to
must
it.
have been shocked.
That's it. And simple answer, no. And he gets up and he leaves. What to do? Now the acting comes into play. Go into the room. I lock myself for 4 days, crying.
4 days?
4 days straight.
My God.
Mom is banging the door. Everything is happening. And I'm like, I'm running away. I'm
आज तो
doing
family को
this.
expose करके ही रहेगी.
Yeah, everything is happening.
I don't think they're going to subscribe
And so
to
then
this,
they actually let you get off for a year.
After 4 days, mom's like, you know what? It's just a year. Do whatever you have to. But at the end of it, just get
what
us a
class
degree.
were you in on that?
After 12th.
After 12.
Yeah,
Oh, so you
yeah.
finished your 12th
I
and
did
then
So you had your
my
DDLJ
yes,
movement, ना, जा
exactly.
समझ जाओ,
जीनो, even.
yeah.
और तूने जी ली और बहुत
मैंने
and you've
जी
done very
एक
well.
साल मैंने जिया पूरा.
You've done very well and you continue to do well, so which is great.
Thank
so Sam,
you.
fantastic.
It's a very incredible story. I think after
Yeah.
not so young girls are going to want to lock themselves in the room till they get one.
Yeah, as
You
long
don't
as
love
it's for a
yourself.
good
For
cause,
a
why
great
not?
cause.
If you stand up for yourself,
Yeah.
I mean, it's
Yeah.
great that
Yeah.
you were able to do it in
Yeah.
spite of opposition.
Yeah.
Yes, Mr. Vayu Raghavan.
Please,
So,
I-
Mr. Vayu Raghavan,
Yes.
first of all, I know your love for cricket. We've seen it hundreds and thousands of times.
Yeah.
But what are the challenges that you face? Because, we won't take names, but you were portraying a very intense cricketer
Yeah.
on screen. What were the challenges that you faced? Because तुम्हारे को वो ये तो करना
I think the biggest challenge was not to get a call from the 1-2 people that the role was inspired by. For sure. Apart from that, I think the biggest challenge is you got to make it authentic, right? I mean,
Right.
जब आप acting
Exactly.
कर रहे हो,
That's
आप
why I
acting
asked
कर रहे हो, right? You are an actor, so you know how it is. But when you're playing a sport, you can't act like you
Act
know how to
like
play a
it.
sport. और यार मैं तो गली क्रिकेट हूँ. Yeah, हम लोग बीच पे खेल के बड़े हुए. You
So
know,
you trained
I've
differently
never
for-
trained to be a professional cricketer.
Right.
So I had to really kind of unlearn a lot of bad habits that that you learn as a gully cricketer and stuff and all. And we obviously, it was in my contract, we had to kind of do like this 3-week really
Intense
brutal
training?
kind of like a boot camp and.
Oh, that must have been
yeah,
fun for you.
And the thing is, we have to do it every season. ऐसे नहीं कि पहले season में कर लो, then second season में.
जैसे हम लोग
आप छोड़
CCL
जाओगे.
खेलते हैं तो 3 महीने का
Correct,
camp
correct.
होता
So
है.
you have to properly submit to the entire thing. So I did not take up any other work at the time, and I'm just like, I'm going
Focused.
to eat, breathe, live this character,
Superb.
live this role, and just.
And you did very,
Yeah,
very
and
well. And I'm not
I-
saying this because you're on
I
the
know,
show.
I know.
I've told you this.
It really changed the trajectory of my career also, because that time the whole OTT space was in its infancy, as you know, like back in 2017. Very, very few big shows had come out. So when you are able to join something on the ground floor as opposed to the penthouse, it just kind of hits different, So
Right,
people
yeah.
start perceiving in a different way.
So I have to ask you this.
Please.
Of course, you've always been very fit and all that, but for the particular role and because it was of a cricketer and all the cricketers nowadays, as you see, are fit.
Yeah.
Did you follow? Because this is a podcast on health and fitness. so I
Yes,
have to
yes,
ask you,
yes,
What
I-
was your routine like while you were training for
Man,
Vayu?
it was pretty brutal, because I mean, of course, like fitness is important as an actor, but also you need to constantly work on your face, your body, depending on the role that you're portraying. So now,
No, because
obviously, if I'm-
the movements are totally different. It's not like
yeah,
going to the gym.
yeah. So I had to shed a good 7-8 kilos, and I was assisting before that. So I was in America for about 3 months, and proper,
Khaa ke.
bhai, it was very bad. And I auditioned before I went to the States, and then I came back and it's time to shoot, and my director and showrunner Karan Anshuman was like, "What the hell happened to you, man?"
Oh.
It's like
I can imagine.
you become
He must have been
supersized, you know?
shocked. Yeah.
So, and he's a man of few words. He's like, yeah, no. So he gave me 2 months. We pushed
Thank
through
God he gave you
briefly,
2 months.
and he gave me 2 months, and I
So
really
what was your routine like, your workout routine at that
I
time,
would
if you
exercise twice a
remember?
day. It involved a lot of strength training, involved a lot of running. I anyways like running, so
Right.
that's cool. A lot of swimming, just stay off the junk and low carb diet. Yeah.
You know, a lot of people.
And वो डर की वजह से मैंने
कि हाथ से चला ना जाए.
I'm like, यार, I'm going to be on camera. I'm going to look like, you know, like for what?
There's also always a fear that you get replaced by somebody else who's fitter and you know.
No, fear was real.
Was there?
Other names were already being floated.
Achha.
Not because of the acting, but because of my body of work. Yeah. So I'm like, yeah. So I took it seriously, and even while we were shooting, because we spent about like 4 hours shooting this stuff, like thing and all. And luckily, the cricket portions happen towards the end of the schedule.
Okay.
Where you have to be at your fittest, right? I mean, you really get exposed. I mean, as a sportsman, you know how it is, right? I mean, you can't fake that stuff.
Another thing I heard about you while researching, थोड़ा research करना पड़ता है. हाँ, तो hyper elasticity, and you have sports-induced asthma.
Yes.
ये सुना है
I don't
आपने?
know what that is. No.
Neither did
So
I.
firstly, I want to know what are these two things, and because it's a health-based show, I want you to also tell us that how did you overcome these challenges on a daily basis and still be at the top of your game?
So basically, I remember very vividly, I was playing my first national. I was 14, under 17 ka national tha, and the train was at, I think, 6 o'clock. And I hadn't played for a week because I was sick or something, and I'm like, let me just go onto court and knock and come. I started knocking and I start sneezing profusely. I'm sneezing for 15-20 minutes continuously, and my face starts swelling up. I'm red and I'm choking. And I'm like, I don't know what is happening with me. And I'm a 14-year-old kid, you know, I'm like, what's happening? The first thing I do is call mom. And I'm like, dude, this is happening to me. What am I supposed to do? And even she's never heard of this before. And she's like, okay.
None of us have heard of it.
Exactly. What's going on? She's like, come home. And they just rush me to the hospital because my eyes, because of the swelling, they couldn't even see my eyes. My eyes were like diminished, like very, very little. And I'm rushed to the hospital. Tests are performed on me. And I get to know that I have sports-induced asthma and I'm allergic to dust.
Oh my God.
So like normal asthma,
And you're still living in Delhi?
Sports-induced asthma meaning what?
So whenever my body reaches capacity that it's not supposed to go, like a normal person sitting while I'm good. But when I push, like to be a professional player, you need to push your body beyond that thingy.
Yeah.
So when I push my body, my lungs need to open up to gas that much air, and they couldn't do that. And then the dust in Delhi, alongside it, the body temperature shooting up suddenly from a 0 to 100, no. I need to have a warm-up that makes my body reach from a 0 to an 80.
Right.
I
So
take
that
a
day you
break.
just went into it.
Exactly.
Oh.
Gradually,
Does it
I have to
happen again and again, or just happen that once?
It happened very frequently that year. It happened to me, say, every other month. But then I understood the condition. I tailored my entire fitness regime, my warm-ups and everything according to me. So then I could, you know.
So now you're safe. Now you know what to do and what not to do.
Exactly. Every bag of mine, if it's my badminton kit or like even like a going out bag, it will have an anti-allergy. It will have my Astelin pump. Wow. And all these tournaments that we play, they're all in the smallest places you haven't even heard of. Okay. Like there was this one place, Kadapa, where there was a tournament. Papa searching it on the map.
Kadapa I heard of in that film. Kadapa ने इसको क्यों मारा? हम फिल्मी हैं, हमको उतना मालूम है.
नहीं, Dad also said the same thing, and he's like, on the map, किसकी पहुंचोगे कैसे वहाँ तक? How will you reach there?
Wow.
No medical hospitals, nothing is there. I'm like, oh my God, and that's the places we go to, you know. So dust is 10 times more than Delhi over there. So yeah, it's really
But tell me,
hard.
The lesson to learn here is that you have to know your conditions, you have to know how much to push your body, and once you know that this is my limit, you have to get there and then start. It's like doing a warm-up set
But does
before
it
you
ever
work
play
out.
on your mind, like even now? Like
It
that
happened to
it
be
could-
very,
Yeah, because like
very recently I was playing, I think the second last round of qualification at a tournament, and I got the attack at 11 in the night.
While playing? Oh,
while
the night
playing,
before?
While playing,
While
in
playing?
the match. And I'm on third set, and it's a do or die for me. Because if I did play that
my
match,
God.
I could go for my international tournament. That was a deciding factor.
Right.
I win
And then?
that match, it's all good. But then the next match is within that hour. And I know no way in hell can my body get ready for the next match within the hour. And I call up mom and I'm like, dude, what am I supposed to do? And she's like, take your medicines, go rest for an hour. We spoke to the referee that she needs, we need an hour. Ironically, the light went in the stadium. God was with me
I
that
have
day.
to say your journey is
I
extremely cinematic and किसी दिन ना आप पर एक
I think your
biopic
actor
बनने वाली है.
बनने वाली है.
Next thing you know, we are only producing it.
अभी भी इसने छोड़ा नहीं है दिमाग में वो है.
ये this is like I think मैं थिएटर में बैठा हूँ यार. Light भी चली गई.
Light chali gayi and the referee goes like, your match is tomorrow. And I'm
Fantastic.
like,
And you
wow.
got better by
Exactly.
And what is this thing called hyper-elasticity? Another thing I've never heard of.
Can you do this?
Oh my God.
मैं तो
No.
कोशिश भी नहीं करूँगा.
So all my
मैं तो टूट जाएगा.
all my ligaments are super flexible.
But is that a good thing? I mean, I would think that's a good thing.
If you're not in badminton, because badminton is the fastest racket sport in the world.
Right.
So you really need to be very fast and quick on your feet. And that is, you're more prone to injuries, like ankle injuries and everything.
Right.
I twisted my ankle and I tore my ATFL. And I went to the doctor and he's like, एक plaster लगाओ ठीक हो जाओगे. एक महीना plaster लगाया. I have my tournament, get the plaster off. I get onto court, I can't walk. My leg is still not okay. And it's a first grade tear, the most minute tear that you can, MRI you zoom in and you see that tear.
Then you see that tear.
And it took me 1 year to heal that
So
tear.
till then it had not been diagnosed that you have this hyper.
No, it hasn't.
My God.
When it took 1 year, the doctor's like, we can fix surgeries in 1 year.
Don't try it. Tanuj, you have just signed today, you don't want to break this. Let Tanya break it if she wants.
That's a good one. But yeah, the doctor's like, why is this taking so long to fix? And then we discovered that I have super elastic ligaments and any injury that I will have will take a lot of time to heal.
कभी सर्कस में जोकर बनने का सोचा है क्योंकि वहाँ पे इलास्टिसिटी बहुत काम करेगी.
Other badminton, it doesn't work out, maybe I have alternate career.
And you're still on top of the game, which is very good.
Yeah.
And you feel that this has hindered your journey, both these conditions at all?
Not at all.
Not really, right?
Because everyone
Fantastic.
has
So
I
all
think
these
it's
skills,
great now because like now that thing is ना ठान लिया कि यार जो भी होगा.
Fantastic.
Yeah,
Keep
very
going,
much
keep going,
Yeah.
keep going. So now there's also a vertical in the show where we talk about nutrition. People feel के जिम जाएंगे, वर्कआउट करेंगे, थोड़ा भागेंगे, दौड़ेंगे और उसके बाद जो मन में आएगा वो खाएंगे, तो भी हमारी बॉडी बनेगी, which is the biggest myth, of course, as we all know.
Yeah.
But it's amazing how this myth still has legs.
It does.
I want you to tell the audiences that what is your nutritional idea like? What is a plate on a regular meal? It's नहीं कि मैं आज prepare कर रहा हूँ.
So I eat everything,
Right.
but I try to eat things in moderation. As I'm getting older, I try and eat less red meat. Definitely, I sometimes do intermittent. I think that the whole 16
That
18
always helps me.
works pretty well for me. But I find it very counterproductive. मेरे इतने सारे दोस्त हैं सुबह जिम रात को जिम. I'm like मतलब नहीं है ना. I'm like भाई okay ठीक है. We all like to have.
ये नहीं करना चाहिए.
Yeah, you should not do that
not do
because
that. That's
you
stupid.
need to find a balance. Okay, once in a while if you want to have a
course,
good
of
time,
course.
okay, but it cannot be a way of life. And I see
As
a
a
lot
sports
of
person, sorry, as a sports person, do you consume alcohol? Is it allowed? Is it good, bad?
and do you guys get tested and stuff? Like,
No, not in badminton we don't. Because alcohol isn't like drugs, yes, for sure.
Drugs,
No, I'm talking about
yeah.
alcohol. Like,
enhancing.
it's a social
So
drink.
yes, if you talk generally about sports people, yes, they do consume alcohol. It's like not every day, not on a regular basis, but once in a while.
Yeah.
For me, I personally never liked it. It wasn't too much. Like sports, yes, when I was
Yeah.
a baby, like as a kid, I want to perform next morning session, pe jana hai, hangover ho raha hai, sir to bhagwaegi rounds.
Correct.
So I can't do that. But as an adult, I feel that I never really need it. So for
Oh, you
me, it
don't
worked
enjoy
out.
it.
I don't enjoy it.
You're lucky.
Um,
Because we do enjoy it.
and we enjoy even more when we're with each
So
other.
now I'll tell you something about myself. For the last, say, October 2023, I made a decision which has held me in good stead. I stopped drinking in Bombay.
Oh,
really?
I was clapping that you stopped drinking.
No, because I'm leaving for America tomorrow, and I'm going to be with my daughter and my wife for 3 weeks. And you go out, you are sitting at a cafe, you want to have a prosecco.
Yeah.
That's allowed.
Yeah.
But when I meant drinking, is when we drink, we drink.
Yeah.
Used to drink. Yeah. So I think that has really helped me in good stead because 90% of my alcohol consumption has gone out of the window.
That's amazing.
Which is why I can maintain the kind of
I
body.
don't think drinking is the villain or the culprit. Binge drinking is the villain.
Yeah.
Yeah, but mostly you realize when we are out, supposing
sometimes we don't know when to stop.
Stop. I don't think we ever know when to stop.
That's the problem.
That is the problem.
And especially because we are friends, like अभी दोस्त ही ऐसे तो हम क्या कर सकते हैं?
तुम तो स्कूल कॉलेज गई होगी. हमारे स्कूल कॉलेज के टाइम में क्या होता था कि जब लेक्चर होता था तो बोलते थे आज जाना है लेक्चर नहीं तो पूरी क्लास बैठ जाती है.
Yeah.
So it's like that.
चलो एक
But
और
I have now become an anti-alcohol and anti-smoking campaigner because I never give gyan. This show is not about giving gyan. It's about sharing our spirits. And I've realized how much of a difference it has made to my life. My friends scoff at me.
Yeah.
When I posted something about the show, and my friend in Delhi, he must have been partying. He said, "Kya bhai, aap sudhar gaye to hamari vaat laga rahe ho." So anyway, so nutrition to nutrition.
Yeah.
What is your nutrition schedule like?
So I honestly don't believe in all these fad diets.
Oh, thank you for saying
Keto
that.
And all, not my
Thank
thing.
you.
I'm a very ghar ka khana person. What's made at home, I'll eat it. And I've always, like since a baby, I've had a very healthy diet. My mom, I remember we wanted pizza.
I love the way she talks about her childhood. I'm a baby. When I was a baby, I didn't drink. When I was a baby, I was a drunk. I used to have a drink. When I was a baby, then I knew coach would say, you know, you're still a baby.
Yeah.
But you were a young one that time. Now you're a young adult.
So yeah, so mom as a kid, as a younger person, she used to like pizza and all used to be carrot sauce for us. Carrot and ghee used to be in the sauce. Like we didn't know what a real pizza is.
You have to thank your mother for this, you know.
For that
It's
so-
very healthy.
Yeah.
And we're on the show where these things
very
are
healthy.
welcome.
Exactly. I know when I had a real pizza, I'm like, oh, what was I having all my life? That's not pizza.
I have a
had a real
pizza. I want my 4-cheese pizza, but you
Exactly.
do it once in a while.
Once in a while.
Cheat
You
days.
don't make it a way of life.
So,
We'll come
yeah.
to your cheat days. The question I was going to ask you before I moved is that I swear by protein. And if you say you eat this and that and you do not vary this thing, how do you get your protein when you, especially on those days when you're shooting and you don't have the
I
time?
just have a lot of eggs. I have a lot of chicken, and yeah.
And you make time for all of this while on set also?
yeah. So जितना हो सके I carry घर का खाना. I don't like.
Okay. वो तो हम लोग को
Yeah. That's the
But वो
best thing.
वजन करके नहीं खाता है ना तू कि
नहीं
इतना
नहीं
100
यार
ग्राम और
नहीं
50
नहीं
ग्राम,
वो इतना intense तो नहीं
इतना intense नहीं।
but because for me and my entire family we
क्योंकि
love
मैंने
food
6-8
my
महीने वो
mom
किया था मैं fed up हो गया
my mom my dad me we
I
all
was
love
doing a
food.
film with John Abraham called Mumbai
Oh,
Saga.
man.
And as we all know, I mean,
Yeah.
he's there. So, and every frame in the film, it was me and him,
Yeah.
side by side.
Yeah.
Now, if I'm standing side by side with a John and I want
You
to be
gotta really,
noticed,
like,
I
up
have
your
to be
game.
there.
Yeah.
So I tried that for about 8 months, and then I think I killed everybody in my house because of my irritation.
See, there's no point being super fit and super healthy if you're going to be
Crabby.
You need to balance your mood, your state of mind,
Yeah.
and obviously what the other people in your home are enduring because of.
Exactly.
Yeah,
and
you
you
know.
do get irritable.
Yeah.
Because I was like, this, I would not, matlab, if even 1 gram was more. And
But once you hit your rhythm, then you're fine.
Yeah.
I think the
It
first
happens.
few days is the most difficult.
Yeah.
उसके बाद then it's like.
नहीं,
ठीक
मेरा
है.
तो 6-8
Yeah.
महीने चला.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
So now, my nutrition is very simple also like yours. I eat everything in moderation, but I have some go-to snacks. I eat snacks because, you know, for me, I can't keep chewing on chicken for 150 gram chicken.
Yeah. I feel
What
you.
is your go-to snack where you can get enough protein? Don't say something horrible. It's the way he's smiling, he's going to say something.
say chaat, but ठीक है.
Chaat.
यार.
Chaat is not, I have chaat all the time,
Yeah.
but black chana chaat.
नहीं but नहीं मैं proper सब
पूरा बना।
हाँ पूरा I want my aloo bomb and everything सब my go-to snack I don't know I just love tandoori chicken to be honest
Perfect.
yeah
You
so
can't-
it
you can't
gets
go
the
wrong
job
with
also done it's not like really unhealthy also just need to keep the masala a little low and it fills me up and I'm in a good mood
And it gives you enough protein for the
Gives
day.
me more than enough
especially when
protein.
you're working out.
yeah
There's one thing which I actually wanted to start with you. You play a very high impact, highly competitive sport. हमारे career में तो हमने देखा है, we've both gone through it. There are many highs, many lows. You seem to be doing well. At least Google says you're doing very well. You're at the top of your game. जितना भी research है यहीं से कर सकते हैं.
absolutely
Any mental challenges that you faced, and if you can share with us of what those challenges were in keeping with your sport, and how did you overcome it?
I feel mental challenges, I never knew of them, to be very honest, touch wood. When I was in school, I was like a very happy kid, everything was good. But I
What a
went,
fairy tale life.
seriously yaar यार
it's
we are
Uncle से-
we
uncle
are
से
planning
down
on making a movie of your life we need some
Yeah,
you know.
we need some. Okay.
Because
let's-
we need to rise like a
let her
phoenix
go.
from the
Here
ashes.
comes, I'm talking about my school life. It
Acha,
was very good.
when you
very
were a baby.
When you were a baby.
happy. Younger adult.
Younger than one. Okay.
So that time it was good, but then when I took my gap year, I went for training to Hyderabad. For 1 year I was there.
Right.
And over there, the mindset was that she comes from a good house. She doesn't have any challenges. She has a fairy tale life, as you said. Why is she here? Why is she like training like us? This is just a phase for her. She's gonna get over it. I was like, don't undermine me because of my life. Like I want to play. I have the passion, the
But that is
determination,
also very
the
human.
talent.
It's very human.
yeah but वो होता है
कि entitled है.
Entitled, exactly, that's the word. But yeah, and okay, once you say it, twice you say it, but every day someone's nagging you and telling you that you're not going to make it because of your life. I started, like, I used to remember, I used to be on call with my dad and I was screaming at him.
This was during your break
This was during my break here. He used to send a car. I'm like, you will not send me a car. I'm going to travel via auto. My friends make fun of me if you send me a car. I'm not going to stay in a hotel. I'm going to stay in a PG. You don't do anything. My dad's like, don't fight it. It's not a curse for you. If you're privileged, that's okay. Be thankful for it. But yeah, that was a very hard year for me. At one point, I wanted to leave the game because I started believing, because I was believing what everyone else was telling me. I'm like, maybe I'm not meant for it. Because today, this is something very true. I'm going to sound very privileged for saying that. But I feel when supposedly someone from a lower strata or someone who's not well-to-do enough makes it big, everyone is like, wow, this guy had that struggle. But the other person, you think, oh, they got it on a platter. But sometimes they also work hard. My dad didn't come from a sports family. Exactly. I am getting up at 5 a.m.
Your game doesn't know whether you're privileged or not.
Exactly. I am waking up at 5 a.m. I am training for 10 hours a day. I am doing everything I can. You're talking about eggs. I'm a vegetarian. I'm a pure vegetarian.
Wow.
I don't eat anything non-veg. And I remember we went to Hyderabad in the academy. The coach sat me down and he called for a platter of eggs. And he's like, if you don't finish this, we're not going to get up. We went at 10 a.m. and we were sitting till 8 p.m. and I had to have that entire platter of eggs just so I could drink.
You ate it?
I ate it and then I threw up.
With it?
They don't know right now about it.
Oh, now uncle will know about it. And again, you'll have to lock yourself in the bedroom. So you had to do that, but he was obviously saying it from a good place for your game and for your...
But just like a lot of struggles
and
are
so
there.
now, even today, you're vegetarian?
I'm a pure vegetarian.
How did you overcome that bit when people were telling you these things and you were actually believing in all that?
At the end of the day, I'm like, how much ever I'll talk, I'll just be talking. What I have to do is I have to show it via my game.
Nice.
Exactly.
Nice.
My racket has to speak on court. As I spoke about injuries, I had an ATFL tear that time. In India, players with injuries are treated as a liability. They're like, an injury, no attention required.
Unless, of course, you're Rishabh Pant and playing cricket for it.
That's true.
Cricket is a different game. Cricket is a religion, I feel, in our country. Any other game, they're like, okay, people who are fit, you come here. People who are unfit, you do whatever you have to.
My God.
And I was just like, and ironically, the year that I took for training, that one gap year, when I'm supposed to give it my everything, that's the year I got my injury. And I'm just sitting on court, and I'm like, what am I supposed to do? 1 day, 2 day, 3 day, 4 day. It's a month. I'm just sitting on court. I've left my house and I've come here. And I'm like, what am I going to do? And then I went to Bangkok for training. And over there, people with injuries were given more attention and focus. They're like, okay,
as it should be.
Exactly. They have a physiotherapist for
You
them.
actually need more attention, right?
Exactly. So that's
because you're not starting at
So
zero.
what was your
negative.
mental space that time? How did you overcome this bit? I mean, was it because of we all going to Bangkok and meeting those people?
Bangkok was a part of it. It played a huge role when I saw how international players were treated. But at the end of it, I was like, I have to prove them all wrong. And again, my mom's going to get mad at me. But getting to my mom also, my mom and dad had a bet that she's not going to survive 1 week in Hyderabad. She's not going to stay there because it was a dorm room and the conditions, there were 10 of us in one room.
I can imagine. We've heard these horror stories about all the other sports but cricket.
Went for food, I remember.
Have things changed now? Still not?
Still. In India, it's...
With so many leagues and this, there are money-rich leagues happening in badminton as well.
There's not a lot of money in the game because the game itself is so expensive that it's not, you don't get a lot of it. And to be very honest, the political system...
But you seem like a fighter, that you came out of it and
you have to, right? If in any field, if you have to do something, you have to fight it. If you don't, no one's going to get it on a platter for you that you get it. You have to fight everything out.
And I think any sport, I mean, entitlement is the last thing which takes you high. If that was the case, there's so many
very unforgiving, right? Because at the end of the day, as she rightly said, she had to let her racket do the talking.
Exactly.
Yeah, it doesn't matter कि आप match से पहले क्या कहते हो, what you say.
Legend sons have not gone anywhere. So
either you make it or you break it. No one cares how hard you fought. At the end, did you win or did you lose? That's the only verdict that comes.
Keep winning.
Love
you, Sonia. Let's go to your mental trauma.
Please, let's talk about it.
Since you're so vibrant and so boisterous. So, obviously, you started off with the film like that, and unfortunately, it didn't really do anything for your career. What did it do to your mental health at that time? Did you ever feel during that phase, कि यार ये क्या कर रहा हूँ? And also the comparison by that time has started happening, though he's the legend's son. You know, because his mother was
I'll tell you what happened.
Crazy big.
The film didn't perform well. I didn't expect it to perform well because I'd seen it and I'm like, yaar, ye pitne wala hai. But it didn't really affect me too much at that point because I already had my follow-up film, which was my second film called Purani Jeans, which I was really banking on. It was a big production house and stuff.
Right.
When that tanked at the box office, I'm like, damn, shit just got real because I didn't have a safety net. I'm like, my God, I'm like literally driving off a cliff now because ab main yahan se kaha jaunga. There was no OTT space, no web series, Inside Edge had not happened. Then I did my third film with Sunny Leone. The music got really popular, the film didn't. I'm like, dude, now you're clearly in box office prison because the calls I was getting.
That's also very unforgiving.
And the calls I was getting is like hero ka dost, heroine ka bhai, and like those. I'm like, yaar, nahi yaar.
Ye to nahi karna hai.
I don't want to do this, right? I mean, like, I'm okay with substantial, but the roles are not substantial at all.
Right.
And then Inside Edge happened, and yeah, as I said, it just changed
three-
the way
three films tanked and then
three
Inside
films
Edge came
tanked,
in.
yeah. And all these years I've been largely focusing on web series, and now after so many years, earlier this year I did my first film with Dharma called
I was
Yodha.
going to say that.
Right, yeah.
Yodha, you got all the appreciation.
And it was a very gratifying feeling for me because I've been testing for Dharma for the past 10 years, like most actors do. I'm sure even you have. We all have, right? And it's very difficult to
I
get a
actually
call
haven't
back.
tested
You
for
haven't.
anybody in my life.
That's
Never tested
fantastic. I don't like testing because I find the...
No, I'll tell you why. It's not some way.
No,
just
he's
honing
a
it.
very down-to-earth guy. That was work is worship. But I don't like testing because I feel like I'm never able to give my best because, you know, you are with one board assistant, you are imagining
and he's
everything.
reading like that. इसके बाद ये हुआ.
मैं तुम्हारे बच्चे की माँ बनने वाली हूँ. क्या? नहीं होता है मुझसे यार. You know, when you're on set, the
So you
entire...
tested for Inside Edge as well, or you
Yeah,
got it?
if you want me to talk about the Inside Edge audition, Inside Edge का पहला scene आपको याद है? हाँ, cheerleader, boom boom bang bang. That was my audition scene.
Oh wow, you must have performed so well in that. Sorry, you just got
with a freaking computer chair.
No chance. Are you serious?
And I'm like, yaar, ये audition था यार, ये they're going to rag me and blackmail me. What the hell is this? You know, so I called up the casting director later.
But going back before your success,
Yeah.
after that failure, how did you deal with it? Because
it was bad, man. I mean, like, I went through a lull like for about a year and a half or so, where the phone
year and a half?
Yeah, the phone was just not ringing, and I'm like, you know, I mean, is it time to like look at an alternate
Estate में चले जाता हूँ, construction में चले जाता हूँ.
Yeah. And I'm like, यार, मुझे उसमें interest है ही नहीं यार, and I'm like, I feel I'm not even like, you know, touched the tip of the iceberg.
Your parents, what did they have to say?
They were very supportive, especially my mom, because I mean, being an actor, I mean, she understood. She's like, look, it's a really unforgiving industry out there, and there's
and unpredictable
ups and downs. I'm like, what ups? Mom is only down. So she's like, just persevere, just keep putting in your time, focus on your process, don't focus on the results. It will happen. And she gave me that belief that dude, just hang in there.
Do you think those failures, that phase actually shaped the way Tanuj is today?
It made me more desperate, it made me a lot hungrier, and now no matter what, I'm willing to go that extra mile because I have seen the phone not ring. I have
You don't want that to happen again.
And I don't want that to happen again. So maybe somewhere that fear also drives me. Like now, I could be in the, like, I'll give you an example. I was on my honeymoon after we got married in Jan and stuff, and they needed an urgent audition and all that. I told Tanya, I'm like, listen, I'm sorry. It's all good, but we are testing for this. So we made a little like setup and stuff in our hotel room, and we tested, and I sent it, and I ended up getting that part. I'm like, no matter what,
of course, you have to do it.
just you know. And a lot of people think maybe because my mom's been a successful actor for so many years that it's easier. It's not. It's actually harder,
it's tougher.
right?
The
Because
comparisons kill you.
if you do well, then obviously ये तो करेगा ना, nepotism ये होता है. And if you don't do well,
nepotism तो सबसे बकवास
his
conversation है.
mother's a successful actor and he still couldn't make it.
That's what they say.
So you know, like
So either way,
everything you spoke about your journey and how you were treated and stuff and all, it really resonated with me because I'm like, you're damned if you do, damned if you don't.
Exactly.
It's a double-edged sword, especially if you have somebody
the only thing you
successful.
can focus is on your own work, and that's all I try and do. Bas.
Now, since you're a sports person, I have to ask you this. I've seen him very up close at work. We spent 45 days. Of course, we didn't shoot much that time, but we did spend a lot of time as very disciplined. Sports persons have to have another level of discipline.
Yeah.
What is your mantra for that? How do you discipline yourself day in, day out in such a competitive field?
I mean, it's become habitual at this point for me.
It comes to you organically.
It comes naturally. What you guys think is discipline, for me, it's everyday life for me. So like 9 o'clock have to sleep, 6 o'clock have to get up, get onto court. You have to do your 3 sessions, 2 sessions on court, 1 session in the gym.
Any holidays?
Yeah, Yeah, of course we
You do
take
go
holidays.
holidays,
Yes,
breaks.
rest days are very important. Sundays,
To
I will.
rejuvenate and
Yes.
recharge.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
I
very
will not
important.
move on
You
Sunday.
have, you
come
have like
whatever.
cheat days, cheat meals and stuff?
To be very honest, right now my diet is only cheating. And
Only cheating?
Yeah.
दिखता तो नहीं है.
Fairy tale.
Yeah, सही है.
Like, I don't want to be like, oh yeah, I don't eat anything.
So
No.
you are very, very kadak when you're in that
in that
competition
zone.
zone?
But the zone comes, off season, on
all
season,
okay.
before
But
tournament.
now also you practice for so long?
Yeah, every day.
Off season also?
Off season you have to practice now because it depends on the training schedule.
12 घंटे तो नहीं करते ना?
Not 12 hours, I'd say in a day around 7 to 8 hours.
Are you
That's so
serious?
less. I thought she said
7 to 8 hours. मैं मतलब 2 घंटा मैं सोचा कि
सात आठ
CCI खेलती हूँ या उधर क्लब में
हाँ.
So
Off
you
season
still
is
do that?
harder.
Oh wow.
Because no one's scared now. Like if there is a tournament episodes, like okay, go slow, कोई injury नहीं हो जाए, something doesn't happen. Off season, तो go give it your all, running, jumping, everything we do.
My God.
So yeah.
So discipline also comes to you.
100%. If you have, but I feel leaving sports aside, if you want to make it big in any field, you have to be disciplined. If you don't have a disciplined life,
And you gotta be consistent. right?
100%.
It's not about
Just
like
keep
you
going.
can't go all the way like one day and then like for 3 days chill.
Yeah.
ऐसा नहीं
I've
चलता.
seen
Again, I have to
people-
repeat myself. The very nice quote I saw, I was just telling somebody, it's better to be 70% in consistently than to be 100% in on day one.
Yeah,
and then forget about it.
100%.
Okay, now fun time. Now बहुत हम लोगों ने दे दिया इनको इंस्पायर कर दिया. This is a fun segment called Ask Rohit segment. अभी मैंने आप लोगों को इतने सवाल पूछे. अब आप दोनों में जो भी ये पूछना है, we'll start with you, ladies first. You can ask me your first question and then of course you.
Please.
As long as you keep it to health, fitness. and
Yes.
nutrition.
Absolutely.
Okay, now I have to think of another one. I was thinking of something else. Now let me think. Okay. But see, you say you're an actor, of course, and you're so into fitness also. So like when you shoot for such long hours, how do you get your fitness in that time?
It's very simple. I carry my gym with me wherever I go. Even when we are shooting applause,
Yes.
we make time before we start shooting or before we start the day to hit the gym. Do whatever, even if I have half an hour, I will. And there's this myth कि आधा घंटा है तो दौड़ के आ जाओ. दौड़ने से कुछ नहीं होता. Strength training करना जरूरी है.
Yeah.
So I go crank out a few sets, try and get some kind of cardio.
He used to drag me also to the gym.
Yeah, we should go and work
No,
out
just to
together.
click his pictures. Because I was useless at that point. I was on
Reels बनाने पड़ते हैं.
But yaar, our man is so dedicated and so
Thank you.
consistent. And you know, like all of us,
It shows, yeah.
he is like seriously.
You know,
all
as
of
you,
us.
and also as you kind of go from being baby to a young adult like me,
Yeah.
I have to be a little more consistent.
नहीं, but आप हो यार.
रहना पड़ता है.
You were.
But yeah, so that's what I do. I try and get it out of the way in the morning. Even before coming here, I went to the gym, finished it out. I had another shoot, finished that, and then I drove here. So that's
That's the
something
discipline.
which is called that discipline. हाँ भाई साहब.
I have a question for you.
जी, भाई
आपने वो picture देखी है क्या? The curious case of Benjamin Button.
जी, जी.
How are you Benjamin buttoning it in life? Because मैं आपसे जब भी मिलता हूँ and this time I'm meeting after a long time.
Long time,
How are you
yeah.
aging backwards?
So I have to say, discipline.
हाँ.
And I'll tell you my secret, honestly. एक तो, of course, I eat properly as much as I
जी.
can. I'm off alcohol now, so that also cuts out a lot of shit.
Right.
And I train well. But what I've discovered is Ayurveda for the last 4 years. That's what I've been doing. And that has made the world of a difference to my
Right.
fitness. My lung power, my running power, my everything, my skin, my hair, everything that I used
Because
to be worried
touch wood,
about.
man. I mean, like,
Touch wood.
seriously.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
yeah,
Thank you for that question. I don't know about Benjamin Button, but yeah, that keeps me going all the time. And I
Yeah.
think I have so much of steam inside this steamroller
Yeah.
that I can go on and on and on.
That's amazing.
So yeah, that's the
It's
thing.
really like, you know, like because we were a very large crew when we were shooting or
Yeah.
whatever, we were chilling in Dubai, and all the younger guys looked at him as a source of
Yeah.
inspiration. Every
Thank
time
you so much.
we wanted to go to the mall instead of going to the gym, we'd be like, Roy's at the gym. We don't deserve to be at the
He
mall.
also
We don't
books out
deserve
the
to
mall.
be at restaurants. We need to go hit the gym.
He's
Wow.
just being kind, but he's also a
Yeah.
fanatic when it comes to fashion and working out.
Yeah.
So am I.
Jutta,
What's the
jutta,
matter?
jutta,
Jutta, jutta. Thanks guys for being here. Before we let you go, the final segment is called Keep Going Mantra. We all have something that keeps us going in face of all adversity at any time.
Yes.
Go first. What is your keep going mantra? Is it your own mantra? Have you heard something? Have you read something? What keeps you going all the time?
I love the high. I love being recognized. I love when strangers come up to you and just,
Superb.
you know, be like, you know, like we saw this performance, it inspired us.
Superb.
It's not just about the number of zeros in your bank account. I'm Sindhi, so that's also a good thing. But it just
वो तो
makes you
होता है.
feel so good that people, that what
It's
we
a much
do,
bigger high than numbers
that what
in your
we,
bank
yeah,
account.
that what we do is actually making a difference to people's lives.
True.
You know, and I also feel it's as you can be a good actor, bad actor. That's all very subjective. But how you carry yourself, even because we are public personalities. I think that's also very important. For me, if I have to like an actor, I have to like their personality, their vibe, their aura. If I'm sitting with them, if I'm watching their interview. So I feel all of this just gives me a high. I love this life.
I'm so grateful to both of you. You've been so honest. Your keep going mantra.
For me, I feel I need a dream to wake up to every morning.
Nice.
I cannot just wake up and be like, oh, what am I supposed to do today? And that just keeps me going.
And you're on that path?
100%.
Absolutely?
Absolutely. Every day I need a goal, and small goals, even like this, like not like, okay, I need to be an Olympic champion. Of course, that's the ultimate dream.
That's the ultimate dream.
But small steps. So every day I set myself that this needs to be done today.
And your goalpost keeps changing, and which keeps you
Exactly,
going. Fantastic.
exactly.
Thank you so much for being so open and honest. Thank you, my brother. Congratulations once again.
Thank you.
Guys, they're incredible stories. I'm sure you're all inspired in a way. And even if one person changes after looking at this interview and listening to them, we'll all have achieved what we set out to do. I'll see you again next week with many more dreams. Till then, have an unstoppable spirit. Keep going. Lots of love. This is Rohit Roy signing off. Take care.